Hello every pony, Dale over here. Warning, this video will contain pictures from Google that is not mine, so please give respect to the owners of these pictures and copyrights. And also warning, it's going to contain my own personally opinion about what happens in My Little Pony, what's going to happen in My Little Pony, and it's only theories, so without further ado, here we go. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. So as you can see, today I was going to talk about the dragon scepter and Spike finding it, getting it and giving it to Ember and stuff like that. So without further ado, warning spoilers, warning whatever, here we go. I have the notion of like, what is the scepter actually doing? Is it taking over you? If you were a pony and you found the scepter, would it make you a little bit dragon? Oh shoot. Let's just continue, even though that I'm half dragon now. Well, I guess that answered my question, but we don't see any ponies in the show taking up the scepter, so we can't be totally sure about this, and this is only my own theory, that I actually think the scepter has the ability to turn ponies into dragons, or turning them half-wise into dragons. And the reason why I'm saying this is like the redstone and the scepter actually reminds me of something really interesting, and it reminds me of the Infinity Reality Stone. Here we go again, and that can warp, reality and stuff like that, turning my Pony OC into a full-on dragon, or how to say that. Like, I think it has the connections to like the getting the inspiration from that, or like a Loki staff, or Maleficent staff in like Sleeping Beauty. So I definitely think like there's some connections to it, because like we see Maleficent using that's green fire, I know, but like Spike burps sometimes green fire, I think. And I know like Loki's staff is blue and not red, but it still has the power of overtaking your heart, and we're not totally sure that's what the scepter does. So Spike, can you please help me here and turn me back to my old OC again? Thank you. Like, I do believe the scepter has really great power. I'm thinking more about like the way they got enrolled, for example, into a Goblet of Fire in Harry Potter, because like there's also, I know still like that's blue flame, but I still think like that is a really good symbolism of like power and stuff like that. And then I also thought a little bit about the Grail, the Holy Grail. I don't know, like if it has the same powers of that, but like dragons are like turning older slower, I guess, in comparison to ponies, because like Spike is still a small dragon and stuff like that. I know like he has become more a teenager now, but I think like the summoning itself, with the dragons, all of the swords glowing, or all of the sudden glowing, is sign of their maturity, and like the getting the staff and stuff like that is more like the ritual to becoming a man. Like we have rituals like that in real life. I will show some of the pictures here, the sun dance and jumping out from whatever, or like killing a dangerous animal in the real life and stuff like that. And they still do this in real life to this day. I do believe like Spike, with getting the scepter, we see like it takes in his power, and like, or it takes in power, and we see him getting the dragon eyes and like the red flame goes into him, or how to say that. When Ember takes it up, nothing really happens besides her getting the power of like the rule over the dragons, which is also pretty sweet. And I also have a dragon friend, Agent Carve, that I can call upon if I want to, and that's actually how I got my rainbow wings. But without going on a sidetrack, the last thing it actually reminded me a lot about was the Lord of the Rings, the scene where it's like the woman killing the one of the um, screechers, or what they're called. I forgot what they're called, but like she says like, I am no man, and like we see like Amber, she yeah, covered herself and like tried to like go for becoming a man. Like you can also think a bit about Mulan, but I think like this was more a reference to the Lord of the Rings scene. I might be wrong, and the scepter also reminds me a lot about like the Lord of the Rings sword. I know it's a scepter, and it also reminds me a little bit of the sword of the stone, or the ring itself. You know, one ring to rule them all, one scepter to take over all of the dragons, or how to say that. But the reason why it reminds me of the sword and like the sword and the stone is like the sword that the king wields later on. It actually I don't know if that has anything to do with like raising the dead and taking a hold of them, but I think it has. And the sword and the stone, when he takes that up, he becomes king, and he it can do a lot of magical stuff. One of my favorite movies is actually Merlin, where we see the sword and the stone can actually summon, light and stuff like that. So I do believe like there's some references and some comparison to the swords as well, even though I know it's a scepter. And the red crystal and the fire, of course, also links it to whatever else dragon things that there is out there. If you have any good other ideas about where you think it's from, please tell me. But yeah, I were all over it. Actually also reminded me the redstone a little bit of the stone that you find in Diablo and you turn into Diablo. But I'll go into more details in that in my Magic Mirror episode today, because I'm going to talk about Diablo. So let's just go on. I think like the episode, I really like the episode of the Spike getting the scepter, and actually I will say becoming more grown up after finding it. And I know like he turns it over to Ember, so yeah, that's fine and everything. And I think like the father of Ember is really rude to her, and yeah, telling her that she's not allowed to go on to the quest just because it's his daughter. But again, then I were thinking about the Lord of the Rings episode, or the Lord of the Rings movie, where she says like, I am no man, I wanna, defend myself, or how to say that, I need to be here to kill this screecher, or what it's called. So that was actually all. I do hope that you like this. Do remember that inspiration is right around the corner. Do remember to take care of yourself and loved ones. And that's actually all. Yeah, okay. Bye.